Hello and welcome to lesson number 3 here for Vray 3 and Rhino 6. What we're going to do in this lesson is we're going to create some basic transparent materials, okay? So you can either use the same model that you left off with, or you can open up Eames Ply for Vray rendering start number 4 and we can follow along together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into my perspective. Here, notice it says Vray for Rhino 6. I'm going to go ahead and jump into the top here, and I'm going to use my text tool, my text object, and I'm going to write something that says transparent there. All right, and I'm also going to jump into Vray, and I'm going to go ahead and start an interactive render. There we go. And as you can see, the letters here, we've sort of Google-fied them a bit. Vray 3, Rhino 6. We've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet down there. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate or copy these materials, and then we are going to alter those materials and turn them semi-transparent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and right-click on blue here, and I'm going to say duplicate. And I'm going to go ahead and jump down to my green here. Right click on that and duplicate it, and I'm going to jump to indigo and go ahead and duplicate that. I'm going to have you go ahead and duplicate all of these. All right, and notice you when you duplicate it, it'll say number 1 after it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this to blue trans, and I'll go to my green, and I will rename that to green trans, and I'll go to my indigo and I'll rename that to indigo trans. Now I'd like you, like I said, those of you at home, to do this to all of them, but for the time being we're just going to go ahead and do this. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and zoom on out here till I can find my it says transparent. And I'm going to zoom in here on TRN. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these duplicated materials. I'm going to go ahead and apply select. I'll go to my blue number 1, and I will right click and I will say apply to selection. And then I've got blue on my R, and I'll go to my green trans and I'll right click and I'll say apply to selection. And blue, there's the green, and now I will go clay, and I'll go indigo trans, right click and hit apply to selection. Okay, now you'll notice that these are the exact same color that the originals were. We haven't changed them yet. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go up here to opacity, right? I'm going to start with my blue trans, right? And you'll notice here's my blue, here it is here. This is the object that is green or blue. Now I'm going to go to where it says click on that, and I'm just going to go here to opacity. Don't worry about the mode yet or the custom source as of yet. We're just going to do some simple changes, and I'm going to take the opacity down to just about 50%. And as you can see, as I'm doing that, we see that every time. As you can see, this is more transparent. So if I move almost all the way to 0, we can barely see our T there. So again, this is yet another reason to use your real-time rendering. But I'm going to leave it at 39, and I'll just go ahead and click OK. I don't actually have to click anything. It is the changes have been made. All right. So now I'm going to go down to my green transparency. Notice I don't have to apply them to the materials because they've already been applied to those materials. I'm just changing the nature of that material. So any material that you've already that's already on an object or in the future will be on a layer, you just have to get in there, edit it here, and it will make all the changes to your object and to your model. Okay. So I've got green trans, and I'm going to go down to opacity. Slide it over to about 50%, and you can see it's re-rendering and the R is becoming transparent. All right, now I'm going to go to my indigo, up to my opacity, go to the transparency, slide it over, and you can see all of these are transparent. All right, so what I'd like for those of you at home to do is go ahead, duplicate all these materials, make them transparent, and then add those colors to some text that says transparency, so you start to get the hang of altering the materials that you've made. Okay, thanks very much. I'll see you in the next lesson.